come.
Thank you so much for staying tuned to this channel. Welcome to another edition of Africa Discourse. I am Wilson Omasho. Since apologies for coming behind schedule, we have to put things together to give you at least a near perfect show. It's no longer news that our president, Muhammadu Buhari, went to Dubai for a economic meeting, so to speak, in Dubai EXPO 2020. In course of that meeting, he told the world that Nigeria is an economic hub that any investor can just delve into and come into to do wonderful businesses. Read news of things that people started wondering if those things he said are the exact things that are really going on, or are they not just printed words? Or is it possible that somewhere along the line that Nigeria might just be the economic hub in Africa? Don't forget, as of 2014, Nigeria was the third position when we talk about the economic hub in Africa. But right now, according to ROMF, their records, Nigeria is not in the top 10. So juxtapose this with what Mr. President said in course of his visit in Dubai. And that is going to form a cross of this discussion. With me here in the studio, I have a clergyman, a political analyst, political affairs commentator. Join me to welcome Prophet Jordan Iwala. Welcome to Africa Discourse. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. God bless you.
All right. And I have an entrepreneur here with me in the studio. He is a vibrant youth, someone that really knows about business and is also into impacting knowledge to persons. Join me to welcome Gustam Elmose. Gustam, welcome to Africa Discourse.
Winston, my pleasure again. Good afternoon, dears. Thank you.
Our president last week went to Dubai. He was given an invite to come to Dubai to, see if we can rub minds, so they create this relationship, the communal relationship. We'll talk about business. And he said so many things about the positive side of Nigeria, that Nigeria is a go-to destination for business. Hence, investors, if they should come to Nigeria, really they're going to have great returns. And many people have been taking those comments with a pinch of salt. Some embrace the comment, others have divergent views with that particular comment. So let me start off with you, Prophet. What do you think about this?
Thank you very much. If you look at our country, and if we should tell ourselves the truth, you discover that Nigeria is supposed to be economic hub of Africa.
Supposed to be?
Supposed to be. By all paraphernalia, we are supposed to be the economic hub of Africa. But unfortunately, the political leaders have not been able to transform this into reality. The political will has not been there to get the economic factors and variables, into play as such that our economy is supposed to be robust enough. Then the president normally and naturally supposed to talk good about the country, but we have to tell ourselves the truth. We have all it takes to become the economic hub of Africa. But like I mentioned, the political will. You look at the sociological factors, security factors, and infrastructural factors. All of these are militating against the concept of hub of Africa economically. Therefore, if we really want to get it right, we need to come back home and tell ourselves the truth. Look at our roads. There's no road in Nigeria. Look at electricity. There's no electricity. And these two factors, naturally is the key factors towards economic growth of any country. If we can get these two factors right, every other thing can fall into play. But unfortunately, we are still politically talking about road, every regime, good road, electricity, water, and none is coming. Therefore, we need to be sincere to ourselves. What he has, I'm not trying to refute whatever he said. He's supposed to say so. Nobody will say his mother's food is not sweet. Therefore, the truth must be told so that we can get things right. The summit in UAE, he went, trying to woo some prospective investors to Nigeria. All those ones, they already know how we are in this place. The security fact alone, many companies have left because of the economic and political quagmire we are into, if we should say the truth. By all this, I think investors might find it difficult to believe in us and come to invest in Nigeria for now.
For now.
Yes.
All right. The statement by our president is it a mere statement or just to say my mom's food is sweet when you know that it's not sweet? I mean, God sent. Because what he said maybe you want to say, fine, this is what is happening, we are good. Is this just a mere statement or a far cry from what is really going on?
Anyway, let me first of all say that you don't expect the president to say otherwise when he is on an international platform. More so, the Dubai EXPO was attended by about 190 countries. Yeah. So you don't expect him to go there and tell you we are not doing well. What you expect is what he just said. But be that as it may, for me, when some of these, in quote, third world nations, Africa countries, go to Dubai, I expect that if we have leaders that have conscience, they should be able to sit down and take it as a moment of sober reflection. Why did I say so? Do you know where Dubai is coming from? Dubai, for some good number of years ago, was like an abandoned desert that some people with a will and a sense to get it right was able to create a global platform that is now hosting about 119 countries in an international expose, whatever you call it, in a bid to building bilateral relationship between countries. That is a once forgotten desert that was transformed. What is Dubai in terms of the Dubai Emirates, in terms of natural endowments compared to Nigeria? I mean, in terms of God-given natural resources compared to us. Go there and check it. The facts are there. They have nothing to boast of compared to us. But the intelligent, I've read the book in the Quest for Excellence, written by the current Prime Minister. It's amazing how Dubai was created. It's amazing their projection for the future. Because we have leaders that have vision and that have an uncompromising quest for excellence. So when African leaders think they can just jump into Dubai and start saying my economy is blossoming, who are you fooling? Let me tell you, the people you want to vote to your country, like my co-panelists have said, discussants, sorry, they are already aware of the indices. They know what is going on in your country. I used to have the statistics, but just about a few years ago, we had about 4 major companies that used to have their headquarters in Nigeria relocating to Ghana. The facts on the internet, I used to have their names. They relocated their headquarters, their patent office to Ghana. Why? Just for light issues. You know, so when you come there and say I should come and debate with Buhari, we all know the obvious. We know the truth. We know that this is just a man that is trying to paint what is not so to be so. But the truth is we are in it. Does Nigeria have the potential to be the economic hub of Africa? Of course we do. Does Nigeria has the natural blessing, the talent, the potential, the young people with creative mind? Of course we do. But does Nigeria have the leadership to drive such creativity, such economic boom? No. Does Nigeria have the integrity and the political will in terms of the leaders that pilot the country? No. But do we have youths that are creative? Do we have outstanding medical doctors? Do we have world global entrepreneurs that can change the narrative? Of course we do. We have them in potential. But guess what? No matter how good you are, Winston, there are some certain environments with which you are put in, you can't fly. You'll be dead with your talent and your potential. I once read a research that says that for an average Nigerian to be given the same amount of money to start a business with a fellow Ghanaian, the fellow Ghanaian from a start is already 5 years ahead of you as an average Nigerian. It's already 5 years ahead of you. Why? Because of the environmental factor. In fact, you can call it the enabling environment. It is not the duty of the government to make people rich. Neither is it the duty of the government to give people jobs or create jobs. It is in an economy where people have nothing to offer that they start campaigning on that. If you look at developed economy, the campaign are based on issue-based, policy-based campaign. It is the duty, however, it is the duty of the government to create an enabling platform where people can thrive, where talent can emerge, where potentials can emerge. But look at the narrative of our dear nation. Opposite is the case. If I want to be a millionaire or a billionaire overnight, I should go and be a politician. I should become a political thought. I should leave my noble profession. You know, being a politician alone makes you are made. So the average professional in other professions have psychological imbalance, knowing fully well that no matter how much you read to be a doctor, it's only grammar and science you'll be talking in the lab. But a primary 6 graduate can become a multi-millionaire by being a counselor, so to speak. So our reality is such that does not match up with whatever the president is saying today or has said before in any global platform. Right. Look at what he said some few months ago about doing the education thing in UK. Is that what we are seeing today realistically? What is the educational budget in the 2022 budget? So, you see, I feel that if you invite an African country to Dubai, they should go there and sit down and ask themselves, is it not human being that created this
environment? Okay.
This environment.
All right. I'll come back to you, God sent. Now, from what he said, we all know what is going on. We are all in it. We are seeing it with our eyes. Whatever the president went there to say is to paint the country in good light. You talked about political will. You talked about some factors. Now, let's zoom in into political will. How does it affect us? After all, we've had a series of parties coming and, of course, going, and we are still here as a country. In 2014, we are number 2 or number 3. We talk about economic hub in Africa. But now in 2021, we are not even amongst the top 10. How did we miss it?
Like I said before now, the economic theories, economic policies, we are very good in formulating policies, economic policies. Yeah. I remember when I was in school in Uniport, you know, as an economist then.
Yeah.
We were told that Nigeria, you know, is the best country that has the best economic and political policies, but never actualized.
Never actualized.
Never actualized. We have sweet policies, good formulators of policies, but none is executed. Therefore, we should move away from theorizing and enter into practical policies that will move us forward. Like I normally say here, we are still busy colonizing our people. Very unfortunate. Not that we don't know what to do. We know what to do. We know what to do. But we are very busy colonizing our people, exploiting our people, stealing without conscience. If you go to Onitsha from here now, go to Enugu, you begin to wonder, is there, do we still have leaders? You begin to weep. You go to Owerri from here, begin to weep. No road anywhere, no light. Nigerians are good people. We are strong, intelligent people. What we need are the basic socio-economic factors in place. Good road, water, light. Nigerians can take care of themselves. The economic ecology is totally zero. Nothing to talk about. So the political will, you know, is there. But we don't want to do it. Therefore, the possibility of moving forward, I don't see it in the nearest future. Because, like what
Why don't you see it in the nearest future?
Like what he said, everybody now has abandoned his job to become a politician. Only to go and exploit and loot without accountability. Therefore, the best business in Nigeria now is to become a politician. And if you look at it from from that perspective now, it is affecting even our values. Societal values has been erosion by, making money quick. The small little boys now, I not seen the 19 years, riding jeep, because politicians have shown them that there is no other way than to make it quick. Are you understand what I'm saying? Small boys having jeep, having houses everywhere because they are into crime, trying to make money overnight, because the behavioral values has been erosioned, and nobody cares. Politicians are still not ready to repent quickly or in the near future. Going by what you asked me, there is no hope of getting things right quickly. And I don't want to go into where Nigeria is going now, because you wouldn't want me to go there. As a prophet, I know where we are going. I keep weeping because there is no possibility of repentance along the line, thereby making it difficult for change to come among our society. So African leaders have a lot of things to do. No conscience. And that is why I get angry when they begin to imitate the whites. You don't imitate the whites. You should go back to your root. From your root, you get the formula. Okay, they have been going to Dubai, they have been going to Japan, going to America. All those beautiful things. Look at the hospital, for instance. When they are sick, they go to abroad for hospital. Is it not a shame? A very big shame. We have enough money to get doctors here, to get equipment done. But when they want to do what is right, I don't know what is problem. Whether we are cursed in Africa. The leaders don't want to do the right thing. After accumulating all this money, looting this money, what will you do with it? What will you do with it? And when like some years ago, I was publishing Crisis Coming in Nigeria. People were saying, why is it that your own is always crisis? The crisis, they are with us because of the lack of economic and social, political change. Where such changes are inevitable, crisis comes, obviously.
All right. If you take a look at the chart, Egypt used to be number 4, Nigeria number 2 or 3, South Africa number 1. But right now, Egypt is now number 1 economically. Talking about the economic hub in Africa. South Africa is now number 3. And of course, Nigeria not among the top 10. What do you think Egypt did to make them come up to number 1?
You see, Winston, to drive the economy of a nation, is not so much of an Herculean task. I want to narrow it down to the Nigeria scenario or reality. See, in Nigeria, let me take my country as an example. We try to mystify everything. It is only in Nigeria that everything is difficult. Let's get quality education, it's difficult. Let's get the economy working, it's difficult. You are not there. Let's get this working, it's not an easy thing. It's only in Nigeria. But the only thing that is not difficult is how to loot money. That one, there is a way out of that. But let me tell you 3 things, 3 factors, which I know part of the things that Egypt has put in place. When a nation can get these 3 things right, there is most likely that the economy is going to experience a boom. Number 1, light. Give Nigerians light.
That is power.
I mean, stable power supply, so to speak. You'll be shocked at what young people will do.
Nigeria Pavilion at EXPO 2020.
You know what it takes to run an average business in this country? Of course, by next year, we'll be faced with a new reality. It's a new price for fear. So we're going to be faced with a new reality. So trust, goods are going to skyrocket again. Now, my point is, what does it take to solve the power problem? Our nation supply power to some other few nations around. But how come we cannot enjoy that power? I've been to some few African countries, and I'm shocked at the reality that I see. And you ask, how do you get this light? They have to connect to one dam in Nigeria. And the Nigeria does not have light. Number 2, create a market. Let everybody, whatever legitimate job or business that they do, have this assurance that there is a market for them. It is the duty of government to create a market. Everybody should be able to say, I am an artist. There is a market for me to thrive. That is the difference between Africa and some of these Europe countries. There is always a ready market. The question is, what can you bring to the table? See, my friend, African thinks this is still the era of speaking English. It is the era of performance. We have gone from grammar to performance.
From grammar to performance.
That is the reason why, even though the Chinese cannot speak your grammar, they are performing, they are taking over the world. And they don't give a damn. Because it's a world of performance. So if we think it's an era of developing robust, global, accepted policies that you cannot engage, we will remain behind. You know, it's sad to know that as a child born into an African country, you are 10 years behind global trend. Research suggests that. As a child, you're already 10 years behind global trend. Every day, one time I was reading about the next future of Dubai. You'll be shocked at the way these people are thinking, the Dubai Emirates. You'll be shocked at the future that they want to create. And they are thinking about the 27-year-old boy driving it, that future. Then you now ask yourself, that is where our leaders will take their money. Do you know the percentage of Nigerians that have big and robust investment in Dubai today? Why is it that we cannot replicate what we see, the good things we see in other countries, and replicate it here? You think the global community can be fooled? You think the way you attract investors is to have good rhetorics and say the economy is perfect, there is security now? You think they are stupid. You think a businessman is not calculative or is not being prudent. So if a country can ensure that there is a stable power supply, if a country can ensure that there is a market created for whatever talent or whatever potential God has blessed you with, the ability to create something meets with a market. If a nation can also ensure that there is source of funding, that young people can access funds on little or maybe 1% interest rate per annum or whatever, you will be shocked at what will happen to this country. So what we want to see is not paperwork theories. What is on ground in the market? And like I said, African leaders, beginning with Nigeria, should stop thinking that the begging bowl is a tool of performance. For every favor you receive, for 1% favor, you lost 4% degree of freedom. The global world are not stupid. When a country gives you money, you lost a certain level of freedom to them. I'm sure you know what is happening with one of these African countries where China have to take over the international airports.
Yes.
You know, it's easy to say we are trying to build a bilateral relationship on one terms. So when these guys bring the card to the table, because they know we have nothing to offer other than to spend money in their hotels, put money in their banks, hide money in the soccer way, they dictate for us. They tell you, I'll give you the money, but I will give you my expatriates to work the contract. That is how we have gotten ourselves at this level. How did we get here? You know, one seems to start thinking many things and like, is it by chance or is it by cost? Are we cost? Yet we are the most blessed. See, Winston, the most painful part in this narrative for me is this. There's difference between when a child is suffering because he knows his father does not have, and when a child is suffering in the midst of plenty. It pains you to the bone marrow. See, my friend, if people like the Americans were to be in Nigeria and have this opportunity that we have, this country will be gone. So we think as Africa that the only way to thrive is to continue to talk to IMF and whatever body. We need loan, we need loan, we need loan. That's why we are where we are. We're under cage. Now we are spending most of our yearly budget on overhead costs. Yeah. We are servicing loan. We are spending it on running expensive and robust government. See, this country is a joke. Please permit me to say that. Because at the end of the day, we are just running around one sector.
It's not a joke.
Okay, it's a joke. It's the reality that we are seeing on ground.
It's not a joke.
It's a joke. Nothing works.
Now, you know what?
No system works.
Hold on.
It's a joke.
Calm down, judgment. Calm down. Now, take a look at
what is the future for my child? My child, I have a son that is just about 8 years old. What future can I think of? What's the dream of tomorrow?
Calm down.
Because all their children are abroad schooling. They don't even have confidence in their own country.
Just calm down. I'll come back to you. Watch your emotions, please. Watch your emotions.
Don't talk about Nigeria.
I know talking about Nigeria, so I can just trigger your emotions to just calm down. But take a look at it. The way it's a situation like Nigeria, you get to hear about terrorist attack, get to hear about so many disturbances shaking the security architecture. But somewhere along the line, when our Sisi came into power, he was able to rebuild the economy right now. Just within a gap of 6-7 years, since 2014. For number 6, they are now number 1. How do you think we can borrow a leaf from them to make at least Nigeria stable?
We are still rigmaroling, around the same thing. The political, we know what is right. We don't want to do it. That is where we begin to ask, are we cost? The monies one person loots is enough to build factories for people to get employment. Like my brother said, some will even put money in soccer away. Isn't that total madness, insanity? What kind of people, away? What are we talking about? But we have beautiful houses, private houses. That's private house you have beautified. Why not use it to work for the public, which you claim to, to do? I think we are tired. We are tired of their stories. And that is what has given rise to this security. The people are tired. Okay, if you look at all these, this little case, begging money along the traffic jam. Today we are dashing them 29. Tomorrow they become armed robbers and begin to chase us. Because there's no structured system for these kids to be engaged in meaningful things. Not that there's no money to do these things. There's so much money. But why are we like this? Why are we like this? Going to Dubai, going to look for partnership, economic partnership with other countries, collaborations, economic innovations. At the end of it, there is no change, practically. At the end of this movement now, there is no change. At times I begin to wonder, do we have to import leaders from the West? Let them come and manage our economy for 4 years.
For 4 years?
For 4 years. That has been one political system, one political term. Let them come and manage it for us and show us the way. Show us the way. If we cannot have ordinary roads, look at, in the 70s, there used to be water in every township. Tap water all over. What do we have now? Borehole. Somebody will just use, oh my God, use 20 million, 30 million. He will go and open one borehole. People will clap. Borehole of 80,000. Isn't that funny? This borehole, within a few months, it will just collapse, and that is the end of it. Why are we deceiving ourselves? Where are those tap water of the townships those days? By those public utility water corporations of those days. Instead of advancing such infrastructure, we are going back. Nobody is accounting for anything. We keep borrowing money to pocket. I beg you. If not because of this platform, we're supposed to be, giving them hell of shit.
Watch your language now. Watch your language now. Yeah.
Honestly, it is unfortunate that we are like this. Like what he said, if Oyibo people are to come here, they will manage this place and we all become like, Americans overnight. But we will still get there, but something will happen on the way to heaven. We shall get there.
Wow. We shall get there.
I'm talking spiritually now.
Kavda, please talk physically now.
On the way to heaven.
Talk physically now, please. Let's focus on the physical. Let's leave spirituality right now, okay? Okay, now let's take a look at what is really going on. He was able to, wave the magic wand and something happened positively in their economy. They are now number 1 according to reports and records in Africa. What do you think Nigeria can do to make them at least number 1? Because what our president said, we are the best. Investors come to Nigeria, you're going to get dividends, you're going to get returns, massive returns. As I was saying, who is talking? Is he here with us or he's speaking by faith? Over to you. Okay,
Winston, if you followed me, you discovered that I made some very salient points.
Yeah.
Part of what I believe the Egyptian government did. Any country that wants to change its economic narrative must look at creating a market.
Creating a market?
Yes, you must create a market. People must be sure that when they create goods, I'm talking about new innovations, new ideas, not just the norms or the old narrative. They should be sure that there is a market for them. That is very key. Because, for example, if you tell people, go to the farm, I'm using that as an example. Yeah. And there is no market for the farm. Who wants to now go to the farm and be a farmer? Or be an agropreneur? Because there is no market. You must create a market. People must be able to get value for their ideas and initiative, you know, irrespective of the industry. Because you don't run a mono economy in order to expand the economy or create a booming economy. You must be able to diversify. And diversification is beyond a government thing. It is a citizen thing, so to speak. What I mean is this. When you talk about diversification, you have to look at the uniqueness of the citizenry, talent, creativity. Okay, let me give you an example. When, in the early days of comedy, who would have thought, I mean, I can't imagine giving my child to stand somewhere and say he's making people laugh. But if you know the industry that have been created in the comedy sector, for example, and there are so many other potentials inside Nigerians waiting to have the right enabling environment to express themselves. It is the duty of government to create that environment. What people need to thrive is an environment. That's the reason why I told you something. No matter how good you are, there is a kind of environment you are in, we call it the limiting factor. You'll be limited. You can't shoot above. That's why sometimes you see people say, hey, you can't stay in this side of town. You can't be in this side of town. It's limiting your potential. Come to this part of town. You know, environment is a very powerful thing. For example, let's take this for example. I've been following the news quite of recent. Yeah. You discover that there are a lot of young chaps, Nigerians that have been celebrated. Some of them were dropped out in our local universities. Yes, yeah. I don't know, that has been trending quite recently. Some of them were dropped out. And you'll be shocked. In so-and-so university in Canada or wherever, he got A, he got this, he broke the first black record. Yeah. And you're wondering, this guy was not even taken serious in Nigeria. What's the difference? An environment. An environment. It is the duty of government to create that environment, then to create that market. That's what we are talking about. There must be an enabling environment. Sadly, you know what our government are busy doing recently? You know the new thing? Pay tax, pay tax, pay tax, bring levies. The different government comes up and say, bring levies. And you start to wonder, our government deficient of ideas to create money. So the only thing they know how to create money is to begin to make the citizenry. I'm a businessman, and I know what I suffer in terms of levies. It's one local government or the other, and they tell you it has been gazetted. If you don't pay, we'll take you to mobile court. Mobile court has now become a tool of oppression. In our own land. Yes, we have independence, but no freedom. So if you talk, can you fight government? You can't dare that. They'll crush you. But we are just there in pain. So you know the average thought in the heart of every Nigerian, a way to escape. If only I see an opportunity to live. When your citizens stay with you, but their heart are not with you, something is fundamentally wrong. It's not about traveling around the world and making good speeches. It's about coming back to your country and be able to create the environment for these young people to thrive. I read on news, Winston, this made me cry last year. Sorry, in a certain research on net, not really on news, that about 50% of Nigerian youth have been lost to internet fraud. Come on, how will you feel? I was shocked. This is an old research that I did early last year. 50% of Nigerian youth. There's hardly no Nigerian youth now that is not into internet fraud. Oh, you think a young man will grow up and decide to build his life on fraud? But what is he going to do when he sees debt knocking at the door? No help, no support. No work. You have a good degree, is useless with you. Or at most, the job you can get is a 20,000 naira job or a 30,000 naira job. What's a 30,000 naira job compared to the economy? Oh, you think those unions, we see, are fighting for nothing? You know, at the root of their anger is the Nigerian politicians. ASU will not tell you that. But we are aware. At the root of the anger, when you say, I can't pay you an allowance, but they say you can pay yourself. You can become a pensioner by serving just for 4 years as a governor. Then, what do you want me to believe? What value do you want to preach to me? So, while you have those in authority who are abusing power, there are more people that are not in authority who are waiting to take their turn to also abuse the same power. See, it is now the survivor of the fittest. We have been reduced to life in the jungle. And that is sad.
Okay, I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you, God Saints. He mentioned politicians. That's what you said at the beginning, political will. I mean, what if peradventure, somewhere along the line, like, a tweak in all of this complaint, political class, how do you think they should be treated to at least give us that sanity when we talk about recreating the economy?
It is so sad that we are still recycling this issue over and over.
Over again.
The politicians are our problem. They are our problem. Like what he said, if you look at the benefits, the profits embedded in politics, everybody wants to become. Until we reduce it to the level of servitude, let people begin to see themselves as servants. You remember the last time I came here? I was telling you, we're talking about leadership and the masses in Africa, political leadership in Africa. The political leadership and the masses.
And the masses, yeah.
Where Nkrumah was talking about education for the priests. And I was saying, if we want to get things right, we need to blend. If we cannot outrightly ignore the imported cultures, let us blend it because of whom we are, Africans. And I was saying here that during the time of oath of office, let them bring Gogu, Ayelala, and all that as oath of office. I mentioned it. Do you know that after I said it, a week after, one prophet, Elijah Ayodele in Lagos, repeated the same thing on air too in Lagos. I said, beautiful. He's a prophet, you know him. Oftentimes, most of my prophecies about the nation, he comes up with them too, after some time. As if me and him, we are following the same spiritual line. He said the same thing I said. You were telling me, but you're a priest. I said, yes. Leave priest out of it now. We are trying to proffer solutions to a way out of this political suffocation. Therefore, the political class have nothing so far to offer because they have structured it for their own benefits. Like what he said, every other sector they are crying on their own. The insensitivity is so much that by the way we go, there will be no change, no hope for change.
How do you mean no hope for change?
Because of the insensitivity in the political will. Okay, if you listen to National Assembly, the things, the policies they make, none of them is even affecting the people. After making the policies, they hang just like that. They hang just like that. If you still look at the political class we're talking about now, look at the rigging, crime, corruption, how they entered. They maintained where they are with corruption until they finish leaving the place. Whatever they are doing is for their own personal benefit. They don't benefit the masses. I remember one day, Dino Melaye was saying, one day the public will begin to chase us. Because the policies are not affecting the people positively. The environment is so hostile. The political will is not structured to affect the lives of the poor masses. Look at hunger everywhere. Look at fuel price right now. And there is this perception of next year they are going to increase fuel again. Fuel we are getting from this land. What of if we are to be importing fuel without having oil in Nigeria? Look at that kind of a thing. If they want to do what is right, it's not difficult. Getting the fuel price now, get it back to 87 naira or 97 naira. Food stuff, everything will just come down. The masses will be eating. When they are eating, I think they are okay. Nigerians are good people. They wouldn't bother, but there is so much hunger in the land, so much starvation, so much suffering. The people are suffocating economically. Economically. Then we don't have to blame the youth, like what he said. I mentioned this earlier. The youth that are into the internet crime, you don't blame them because you will not sit down there and die in hunger.
Well, that is not an excuse. That is an excuse to go to crime.
Listen,
yes.
Western. If the economy is not favorable, high lottery will increase. You don't blame the people. High lottery will increase for the women. Armed robbery will increase for the men. Then a suicide attempts will increase. A lot of things will increase. These are natural factors that will be triggered out of harsh economy. So you cannot stop it. It is not by prayer. Prayer cannot stop this. Somebody is hungry and wants to eat, no food. He has to devise a means to survive. Nobody wants to stay. That is the truth.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
So
our time is
our leaders are seeing all this,
yes,
and they have developed deaf ears.
Yes.
One day they'll begin to chase them. They have already started in the north.
All right. Thank you so much for that. That's the last. Thank you so much. We'll take a minute. Our time is up.
Yes. Let me say this on a final note.
Yes.
You see, no responsible government shop for investors like a shopping bag. Come to my country. Come to my country. Can I give you an example? Is Dubai shopping for investors today? People are on queue asking the prime minister, the monarch, asking them, how do I come in? Which sector can I invest in?
Invest in.
No responsible government take a shopping bag and say, come and shop. You know, it's only in Africa we condone mediocrity. Because somebody brand it up in the name of bilateral relationship. And say, are you not telling us not to do bilateral? Go and face your country, my friend. Investors will line up begging you and asking you, where do I invest in? That's where we are. My biggest pain today is that in Africa, we now think the begging bowl is a tool of survival. And nothing has imprisoned us and put us more into bondage than this begging bowl. We have borrowed and borrowed and borrowed and borrowed our great-grandchildren and borrowed them away. The debt of this nation, my grandchildren will meet it. In fact, we don't even borrow to service debt. Then you say you have minds in power. You don't have minds. If you don't know how to fix it, get out of there. Let some other people get in there. Don't tell us you will fix it. Then after you get there, you tell us I came at the wrong time. Then get out if you think it's the wrong time.
All right, thank you. Prophets, 30 seconds. The way forward.
The way forward is to establish workable political will.
Okay.
And by so doing, creating the conducive environment for investors to come on their own. Then the bilateral collaborations economically and prospective investors, they'll begin to come.
All right, thank you so much, General. Please calm down. Watch your emotions. Calm down, please. Well,
we are angry.
You've heard them.
We are angry.
They are saying it's beyond mere speech. You say we are this, we are that, but what the innocence on the ground is a far cry from what Mr. President told the world last week in Dubai EXPO 2020. How can we invite investors? The question is still left unanswered. We'll get there. How do we get there? Only God knows. Bye for now.